Hey guys, this is Garies. Welcome to my gaming channel. As promised in the previous video, we are lifting off where we left in the previous one. Literally, it was been a few seconds before the previous one. This will be now part 2 because it seemed like it's going on for too long. We're down here in the pits on Tartarus to try and save Felix, or Phineas, not Felix, sorry. Felix is our companion. So let's quickly loot. There's a bunch of looting. That took most of the episode in the previous one. So that kind of sucked. Let's see what's this side. Some stuff to loot again. But don't know where this goes. Let's try. Oh, wait. Right where we left off. Okay, so we can sneak past this guard. I believe that's what that was for. Okay, so hopefully this will be the last of the last of the last. I'm not sure it will be, but we can be hopeful. That goes nowhere. That goes nowhere. So we have to go somewhere. Here. Do not disturb when lights are on. Achievement worked well. Bye bye. We found Chairman Rockwell. Now he's a pile of dust. This is where he recorded those nonsense messages of him. Yeah, well, we're already kind of in a shoot first, ask questions later mindset, but this is only because everybody's going for us. I'm guessing if we started with Iconoclast, because I'm coming to a conclusion that we sided with a crazy dude. Can't remember his name, but and now the Iconoclast is against us. I'm guessing it would have been the other way around. If we sided with the Iconoclast, that other crazy dude would have been against us. In your face, buddy. That was close. That was genuinely close. Okay, so welcome back to part 2 of gunfire and ammo and all the craziness that's happening, and looting. Don't remember loot. I forget looting. I hope we get a what do you call it? A weapon workbench soon. What's that? Don't know. Let's go check. Hello.
Here we go. Great work.
Okay, let's go. Intimidate. Different creature movement speed. Creature. Medical. No, medical is too far away. Inspiration, determination, lockpick, lie. Persuade. Ooh, let's go with this one. Why not? Don't know what else. And in journal, we don't care about journal. Some loot behind a wall. Let's go see. What does this door do? I'm guessing it's going to be locked. Yep. Well, there's 15 bits for us. Well, each one adds.
You, ain't feeling jittery, are you? 'Cause I'm not. Yeah, boss?
Yeah, huh?
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've been working with Dr. Wells from the beginning. When we moved to arrest him, he was prepared. I lost good soldiers in the attempt. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty. I'm afraid I can't do that. You're a gifted warrior, Captain. You've made your talent for combat abundantly clear. For all your talents, you are the enemy of Halcyon, and therefore you are my enemy. You make a nuanced and compelling argument. Here's my rebuttal. No. Dr. Wells is being held in my custody. His cooperation will prove invaluable, even if I have to beat it out of him. All that's left to do is put down this riot, arrest you, and then get on with the bloody business of saving this colony.
I don't know.
Well, that's mostly correct. You're not leaving here at all. I wish you'd simply cooperated with me. You're the finest marksman in Halcyon. You could have been my gun. I had a feeling you'd say that. This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Okay, well. Ooh. I'm guessing once we're in, we're not getting out. Yep, pretty sure about that part. Okay, well. But down. Okay, let's see. Okay, we need consumables. Damage. Critical damage 15. Why did you just decide on your own to take that one? So we need a chocolate bar. Oh, that's already done. Give me rockets. I generally don't know what to use. We can use that. What does this do? Junior time. Movement speed, attack speed. Junior time crash, walk speed. Okay, no, we don't want that. Okay, so we want this Dervish Mist. Oh, goodness. Okay, I don't think an NRA is going to do it though. We need to have this one, I believe. 36, 30. This does more per shot, so let's go with this one. Okay, going to save one more time. Okay, well, no time like for present, and we want the Dervish Mist. Weapon attack speed, movement speed. Okay. That was a bunch easier than I thought, genuinely. I genuinely thought it would be much harder than that, than it was. My idea was also to take him around the room, take him to all these barrels and let him explode. I genuinely thought it's going to last like a couple of minutes, not just a minute. Well, at least we get some ammo bars and stuff. Yay. Oh wow, this looks pretty. That's the exit, I'm guessing, so let's go up.
Why won't... Woo!
That
Nice
had to
work!
hurt.
Get me out of here!
Done.
You're here. You made it. I can hardly believe my eyes. You didn't have to do this, you know. Risk your life just to save mine. No, I expect they didn't. You're a force of nature, aren't you? You've left the board in tatters, but Halcyon is still on the verge of starvation. I just hope we're not too late. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Hold on, Doc. Are you telling me the Earth went dark 3 years ago, and the board's just been covering this up?
They've been incredibly effective at concealing the truth. Right now, the only people in the colony who know are standing in this room.
You mean... we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. Earth isn't going to help us. No one's going to help us now. We're alone out here, and I don't know if we're going to survive. I had hoped your fellow colonists might hold the key to saving Halcyon, but I don't have nearly enough chemicals to revive them all. I'll do what I can. I just hope it's not too late. It's time I return to my lab. I'll try to save as many of the Hope's colonists as I can. You're under no obligation to help me. You've done enough already. Thank you. I'm going to need all the help I can get. I know I've asked too much of you already. I revived you into a strange and unfamiliar colony. I put your life at risk. I made you an accomplice to my own ends. We were going to save this colony, you know. That's what I told myself when I pulled you from the Hope. You and I were going to set everything right. Now, I don't know what to think. Earth is gone, and we are going to need a miracle to survive another generation. I always suspected Halcyon might collapse one day. I just thought we would have more time.
Okay.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment she landed in Emerald Vale, her actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. As the colony struggled to survive, the inspirational story of the iconoclasts spread like wildfire, and R.A.M was able to bring many of the smaller Terra 2 townships into the fold. However, his zealous obsession with spreading the word blinded him to the needs of a growing organization, and the movement was unsustainable at scale. The iconoclast way seemed to work best, and ultimately petered out on Monarch. Sublight Salvage adapted to the changes in Halcyon, shifting their business model to suit the times. Their claims of legitimacy were scrutinized, but ultimately unquestioned. Lilia Hagen would continue to protect her family as ruthlessly as ever. Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater. She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer. As for Reed Thompson, it was said that he lasted exactly 2 days outside the walls of Edgewater. Years later, a marauder was found in possession of his hat. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs.
Imagine
It was
that.
a dark time indeed. Ellie savored her adventures on the Unreliable. Once they were done, she returned to life as usual, running missions of dubious legality, shunning respectable work, and living life to the fullest. She meant to reach out to her one-time captain, but she was always bad at keeping in touch. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently, as its chief and sole engineer. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail, or clearing an infestation. Before his untimely death, Captain Alex Hawthorne had plans to restore and modify, for combat purposes, a sanitation and maintenance automechanical that he'd found in a state of disrepair in Emerald Vale's scrapyard. That unit remains broken down and forgotten in the Unreliable supply closet to this day. Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He was never able to come to terms with his own past, troubled by the decision of placing all his faith in the first colonist he ever revived, the infamous captain of the Unreliable. The revival project yielded mixed results. Phineas, weighed down by limited support and his own guilt, struggled to revive more than a handful of scientists and engineers. They made a heroic effort to solve the colony's problems, but with small numbers and facing long odds, their solutions never caught on. Only a few of the Hope's colonists were successfully revived. Wells died before he could see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a haunted man, crushed by the guilt of his failures. Small, petty factions squabble over what remains of the colony. Every attempt to reach out to Halcyon's neighbors is met with silence. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Well, if I am the greatest, why am I the infamous? Anyway, well guys, that was fun. We finished the game. I thought this would be the last episode. Well, this will be part 2 and the continuation of a previous episode. But I really enjoyed this game. Please stay tuned for Season 2. We're going to kick that off immediately after the season. And we're going to run and gun and just kill all the board members and everything and everyone in our wake. We're going to revive Sam because I think he's going to be a good part for run and gunning. And also I think we're going with Felix maybe. I like his determination to kick board behind. So, but with that guys, I hope you enjoyed this season or the series, the Outer Worlds. I really enjoyed it. It's fun. Well, we got a couple of hours in actually, like 30 hours I guess. and I enjoyed that they finish the story like that with a actual close wrap up stories, quite similar to Fallout 3 actually, but since it is Oblivion that programmed and wrote this game, kind of makes sense. But yeah, I enjoyed the game all in all. Nice story. There was still a planet we didn't go visit though. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe we'll see to that in the next season 2. So again, hold on to your hats, guys, and wait for that season 2, and let me know. Comment down below what you think or thought of this season and series, and yeah, what you'd like to see in the future. Maybe we can play another season even, but I'm definitely going to play season 2 with a run and gun. I really enjoyed doing the run and gun. That's different than my normal playstyle usually, but that was actually fun. I did enjoy it, and I want to see different story options. So I think that's a quick playthrough of a run and gun, and see how it turns out if we just murder everything and just take all the chemicals, that sulfide, the methyl sulfide, and see Kingdom citizens. And yeah, well, I enjoyed this episode. Or this game, sorry. I hope you did too. If you did, please give me a like, guys, and consider subscribing to my channel. That helps me out tremendously. And if you've done so and you want to know when the next episode comes up, hit that bell icon and YouTube will send you a notification once that happens. But for now, guys, I'm going to call it an episode. I'm going to let the credits finish, and then the episode will finish. So feel free to cut down now or cut the episode from here on out, but I'm gonna let the credits roll just for respect to the game, or not respect, but yeah, just so that we get all the credits, etc., because it was a fun game. And I'm kind of just rambling like I usually do, but more for the sake of the creators. But let me keep my mouth and let's finish the credits, and after that we will end. And guys, I will see you in the next one. I'm not sure if I'm going to definitely record this next, but I'm planning maybe to start another game. I really looking forward to been playing this certain game, but I'll talk to you in that game when I'm there, and maybe I will do one episode of each, and maybe mix and match episodes, because we did play this game and we finished it from start to finish. So maybe having a second season just back to back, maybe a little bit too much. So let's start with the other game. I think that's a good idea, and then we will every other day maybe, or every third day, we will do a Outer Worlds run and gun season. But yes, I think that will work out better. But thank you once again for joining me, guys. I appreciate all the views that you give me, and I hope you enjoyed this story of this game. But for now, I'm gonna call it, guys. See you in the next one. Cheers.